Most of the time, we forget to focus on what we don't see when things are working. But what's interesting is that our economies are driven by invisible communities, such as immigrant labor and farming, those who clean our homes and keep our perfectly manicured gardens, and restaurant workers. What people don't realize is that there is also an invisible community in academia. They are called postdocs, for postdoctoral researchers. Postdocs are a small army of junior scientists that pursue advanced training to create new innovations that improve our quality of life. They support the research enterprise. However, unlike faculty and students, they are often overlooked as part of the research infrastructure. They're treated as cheap labor. We've learned from our program that our employees, staff, students, all who contribute to all levels of organization need sufficient support and mentoring to maintain their productivity in the workplace. Therefore, postdocs deserve the same treatment if we expect the same quality of work. In light of the tough academic job market, my research will examine the gaps in the training and preparation for postdocs as they pursue careers as independent researchers, academics, and leaders of their chosen fields. The study will take place at Sunshine University. It is one of the world's leading private research universities located in a metropolitan city. Established in September 2011, the Sunshine University postdoctoral program was established as a central resource on campus, serving as a liaison between the Office of the Provost, postdoctoral scholars, faculty, and staff to disseminate university initiatives and policies. Since this will be the first time evaluating the postdoc program, Sunshine University postdocs will be the stakeholder of focus. We'll be able to take a pulse of the postdoc experience by examining their satisfaction with their training at the university. The program's goal is that all postdocs will feel satisfied with their postdoc training and preparation at the university. However, a timeline and a targeted percentage of postdocs is not specified. It should be noted that this is an aspirational goal and current data is unavailable, which substantiates the need for an evaluation. It is important to evaluate the postdoctoral program because the future of research and a better world for us relies on the scholarly contributions of postdocs. I'd like to provide you a snapshot of the current landscape at research universities, the most pressing issues for postdocs, and why we can't afford to maintain the status quo. Here's the situation. There's less government research funding out there. Universities have tightened their budgets. There's less faculty jobs available. Meanwhile, we have the highest number of PhD graduates in the pipeline. This causes great competition in the job market. This leads to lower compensation for postdocs, insufficient benefits, and great job instability. Therefore, postdocs develop high levels of stress and anxiety due to the uncertainty. They experience lower satisfaction, lower motivation, and lower performance in the workplace. In this section, I will describe the conceptual framework for the study. The figure illustrates that there is an intersection of the postdoc's knowledge and motivation influences within the organizational culture, which shapes their postdoc experience. The effect of these multiple influences translate to their overall satisfaction with their postdoc training at the university. The next few slides identify the key KMO influences. For knowledge, postdocs need to have the metacognitive knowledge to identify career goals and develop an individual development plan, known as an IDP, with their faculty advisor. Also, postdocs need to know what resources are available to achieve their career goals. In a highly competitive academic landscape, postdocs must be able to see the value in their postdoc training for career preparation and its contribution to the greater research enterprise. Postdocs should feel confident that their postdoc training will achieve career goals. They must be able to effectively address competing interests with their research, their work, and their personal and family life. Lastly, as guided by the National Postdoc Core Competencies, there are 6 areas they must be confident in. The areas are discipline-specific conceptual knowledge, research skill development, communication skills, professionalism, leadership and management skills, and responsible conduct of research. The literature reports that the following organizational elements would increase postdoc satisfaction and productivity. First, the organization needs to develop a culture of support in their academic unit and the larger university. Second, postdocs need to have an engaging mentoring experience with their faculty advisor. Lastly, the organization needs to commit resources aligned with the academic units and institutional priorities and policies for postdocs. The next slides identify the 4 guiding questions of the study. The first question is, to what extent is the postdoc program meeting its goal of all postdocs feeling satisfied with their training and preparation at the university? The second question is, what is the postdocs' knowledge and motivation related to the goals of all postdocs feeling satisfied with their training and preparation at the university by July 2020? The third question is, what is the interaction between organizational culture and context and postdoc knowledge and motivation? Lastly, the fourth question is, what are the recommendations for organizational practice in the areas of knowledge, motivation, and organizational resources? The participants will be asked to measure their satisfaction with their training and preparation. I hope to obtain a large random sample for my study. Based on the number of key influences, the survey will study 7 influences on postdoc satisfaction: 2 knowledge, 2 motivation, and 3 organizational. Therefore, approximately 20 items with 3 open-ended questions plus 20 demographic items will be in the instrument. Some items will be adopted from a 2016 National Postdoc Survey, which is the most comprehensive, validated survey from over 7,600 postdocs based at 351 academic and non-academic U.S. institutions. Beginning October, shortly after Postdoc Appreciation Week, the survey will be administered online for 2 to 3 weeks. There are several limitations and delimitations I've identified in the study. The random sampling procedure requires a large sample, so there may be an insufficient number of participants to draw significant relationships from the data to be considered representative of the university's postdocs. Also, the study may involve respondents who experience social desirability bias, because the respondents may want to report inflated responses to present themselves in the best possible light. Lastly, since the majority of postdocs are in the science disciplines, the generalizability to the postdoc experience in the humanities and social sciences may be unreliable. We need to pay attention to postdocs because we are morally and ethically responsible for their care, because we entrust our future in them. We rely on them for discoveries that better the world that we live in. So wouldn't you want to treat them right? If you want to advance society, if you want a better world for your children, then you care about the future of research and you care about postdocs.